Good day, grade 8 students. This is Miss Mayani. Love and share Christ. Are you ready to learn something new today? If yes, sit properly and listen attentively. Let's begin. Should you believe everything you hear? It's raining cats and dogs. Do you believe that? Is it really raining literal cats and dogs? Are they lying? Or do they mean it literally? The answer is no. They are just making a point by exaggerating this point by the use of idioms. It's raining cats and dogs doesn't necessarily mean that dogs and cats are falling from the sky. It just simply means that it is raining very hard. Today, we will learn about idiomatic expressions. Idiomatic expressions or idioms are words, phrases, or sentences that have meanings different from the literal meanings of the words in the expressions. I have here several examples for you together with their meanings and sample sentences. Number 1, water under the bridge. This expression is used to refer to something from the past that is no longer important. Example, what's done is done and there's nothing we can do about it. It's all water under the bridge now. Next, piece of cake. It simply means something that is a piece of cake is very easy to do. Example, the exam in English was a piece of cake. So in this example, you simply mean that the exam was very easy for you. Next, let the cat out of the bag. It simply means to reveal a secret or to tell someone about a secret. Example, we're throwing a party for Michelle tonight, but don't let the cat out of the bag. It's supposed to be a surprise. Next, hit the nail on the head, which means to describe something perfectly. Example, I think you really hit the nail on the head when you said that what we are lacking is confidence and motivation. You can't judge a book by its cover, which means you can't tell what is someone like from their appearance. Do not just look at their physical appearance. Example, she seems like cold and hard person, but she is very warm and nice. You can't judge a book by its cover. We also have, don't bite off more than you can chew, which means don't try to do more than you can do. Example, I think I bit off more than I could chew when I agreed to paint this house by myself. Meaning to say, when she agreed to paint the house all by herself, she took the responsibility that she cannot really do. That's why, do not bite off more than you can chew. We also have, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. It simply means you do me a favor and I will do you a favor in return. Example, if you lend me the money now, I'll use my contacts to help you get the job you want. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Next, we have add insult to injury. To make bad situation worse by doing something else bad. Example, she arrives an hour late for the dinner party, then, just to add insult to injury, she complained about the food. We also have once in a blue moon. It simply means very rarely or not very often to happen. Example, With 3 kids to look after, I only get to go out once in a blue moon. Number 10, see eye to eye. If 2 people see eye to eye, they agree on things and see things the same way. For example, sometimes we fight, but we generally see eye to eye on most things. We also have kill 2 birds with 1 stone, which means to manage to do 2 things at the same time. Example, during the trip to Scotland, I met with my old friends and went to my brother's wedding. I managed to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We also have cat corners, which means to do something the easiest, quickest, or cheapest way. Example, I won't cut corners just to save money. I put quality first. We also have the last straw, which means the last problem in a series of problems. Example, she's always been rude to me, but it was the last straw when she started insulting my mother. Next, take what someone said with a pinch of salt, which means do not take something very seriously because you don't believe it. Example, I'd take everything she says with a pinch of salt because she often tells lies. We also have sit on the fence. If someone is sitting on the fence, they don't take sides in an argument or they avoid making decisions. Example, I don't think you can sit on the fence about this problem. You have to tell us what you think. Next, the best of both worlds. This is not the song, but it is somehow related. To take all the advantages of 2 different situations. For example, she wants to keep her manager's salary, but she doesn't want any of responsibilities. She wants the best of both worlds, but that is not possible. We also have pull the wool over someone's eyes, which means to try to trick someone. Example, don't try to pull the wool over her eyes. She's too smart. Next, speak of the devil or talk of the devil. This is something we say when the person we're talking about suddenly appears. Example, I heard Jessica was going to go to Canada for a year. Speaking of the devil, that is Jessica over there. Hi Jessica, we were just talking about you. Next, to give someone the cold shoulder, which means to ignore someone or to behave unfriendly without any reason. Example, I wanted to talk with Morgan, but she was giving me a cold shoulder. Do you know what's wrong? And lastly, our last example is a lot on a plate, which means to have a lot of work to do and to be very busy. Example, I don't think I will be able to go to the party this Friday because I got a lot on my plate now. And that concludes our lesson about idiomatic expressions. I hope you learned something new today. Thank you for listening. This is Miss Mayani. Love and share Christ. For additional information, let's watch this video.
If English is not your native language, you may think it's difficult to learn. Well, as someone who grew up speaking English, let me just say, yes, you're absolutely right. English sucks. It's confusing, there are too many rules and too many exceptions. I before E except on Tuesdays and during full moons or something. The birth of my channel literally begins with a video of how I hate pronouncing the word rural. And now, I'm gonna complain about idioms. Idioms are a group of words established by a usage as having meaning not deducible from those of the individual words, blah blah blah. Basically, figures of speech, alright? Example, raining cats and dogs, meaning it's raining heavily, it's raining a lot, but it has nothing to do with cats and dogs. Who thought of this morbid metaphor? They could have chosen rocks, barrels, tires, anything else that was heavy and not alive. If someone told me it was raining tables and chairs outside, I'd be like, oh man, that's some heavy rain. I should probably stay inside. But if I found out cats and dogs were falling out of the sky, I'd be like, what the are we waiting for, Jeremy? We gotta save them! Idioms help us express simple feelings in a more illustrated and colorful way. And yes, I did look into the origins of these sayings, but personally, some of them just don't make sense up front. Turn a blind eye, or refusing to acknowledge something which you know to be real. Pretend something didn't happen. Like when you catch your sibling trying to sneak out of the house after being grounded, and then they threaten you not to tell on them or else they'll punch you in your sleep. You turn a blind eye. Also, that's blackmail. Okay, I get the blind eye part, but why do you need to turn it? If you're already blind, you won't be able to see anyway, whether or not you're turned. That's redundant. Either turn or be blind. They both accomplish the same level of visual ignorance. If it was turn an eye blind, now that makes sense. It's just more morbid. Eat your heart out, to feel great sadness. Often used as a taunt towards someone to encourage jealousy or regret. My goodness, another gruesome idiom. It's bad enough that I have to take my heart out to be able to eat it, but then I gotta eat it. This expression is often used with the name of someone famous as if to make them feel jealous of your accomplishment. Hey, what do you think of my painting? Wow, look at that. Eat your heart out, Michelangelo, am I right? I'm already dead. In a pickle, to be in a troublesome situation. Look, you could have picked a ditch, a well, a chimney, anything that could contain a body. But a pickle? Hey, I got your message. Ran as fast as I can. What's wrong? Just help me out, no questions asked. It's all downhill from here, used to signify that the situation will only get worse from that point on. But going downhill's the best part! Think of all the things and activities you do going downhill. Skiing, sledding, biking, hell, walking. None of these are fun going uphill. I guess in its defense, the idiom could mean being out of control while going downhill, but honestly, you could be out of control at any level of steepness. I've fallen up the stairs just as much as I've fallen down them. Tickled pink. To be delighted. Yo, Reggie, got anything good for your birthday? Yeah, actually, my parents finally got me a Switch. Wow, you must be tickled pink. Yeah, you're right, I guess it only works for white people. Wouldn't be caught or seen dead. Used to express the extent of which one would never be in something, particularly clothes, places, or situations. Which I don't understand, because when you're dead, you shouldn't be able to feel anything, let alone embarrassment. Ugh, Cindy, look at her top. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing something so ugly, ugh.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure they don't find your body.
Happy as a clam, an exaggeration of happiness. The complete idiom is actually as happy as a clam at high tide, because that's when they're least likely to be attacked by predators, but many go with the shortened version in reference to how clams look like they're always smiling. Nope, I disagree. It's just the angle of which you're looking at them. If you look at them from this angle, it looks like they're frowning. And rightfully so, because I like clam chowder, and being delicious is not a compliment you should be smiling about. Goody two-shoes, used to refer to someone who always does everything right and follows the rules, to the point of annoyance. Often used negatively. Well, I did you guys a favor and read the story of Goody Two-Shoes to see why. Let me summarize it for you. Marjorie, meanwhile, and her brother were two homeless orphans. Marjorie grew up only wearing one shoe. One day they meet a rich gentleman who buys her new clothes and a new pair of shoes. She was so excited and grateful that she exclaimed it to everyone she met, earning her name Goody Two-Shoes. She believed the rich man was good and wise because of his great learning, and so she learned to read and helped teach all the children in the village to learn as well. She prevented a man from being robbed and murdered because she warned him after overhearing some men plotting about it. She saved numerous animals from being abused by people. She was so wise and good that some idiots accused her of being a witch and put her under trial. She proves everyone wrong and continued being the Goody Two-Shoes badass that she is. Why is this used to make fun of people? I strive to be a Goody Two-Shoes, and you should too. Piece of cake or pie. An easy or simple task. There's nothing simple about a cake. There's so many different ways to make a cake. I guess if you don't care how it tastes, baking a cake or pie can be simple. But if the quality doesn't matter, then you could easily just use any other food as the idiom. Wow, that cake looks amazing! Did you really make that? Yeah, it was a piece of steak. What? Eat your heart out, Duff Goldman. Is that a famous chef or baker? That's a no-brainer. Okay, man, I just wanted to know if you made it. And Bob's your uncle. Okay, weirdo.